Yeah, hello students, welcome back to the channel. So in this class, today we're going to see the division of decimal numbers. Now before we progress to the division of the decimal numbers, in the last class we have seen the multiplication of the decimals. So if any one of you have not seen that particular video, then please go through with that video. I'll mention the link of that video in the description as well as in the I button. Okay. So yeah, so today's topic is going to be division of decimals. So let's proceed with that. Now, before we start anything into the division of the decimals, or before we start dividing the decimals, there are few things or there are few rules which we have to follow and remember. And what are those? So let's start with that. Now, first of all, we should know that how to convert any decimal number into a fraction. Let's say, for example, if I have a number as 0.6, this 0.6 is in a decimal form, and now when we are converting this into a fraction, then we have to write this as 6 upon 10. Okay. Now there is a very simple logic behind that. The logic is very clear. Whichever number of zeros you have after the decimal point, whichever number of digits you have after the decimal point, those many zeros will come in the denominator. So here there is only one digit after the decimal point, so therefore we are going to write this as 6 by 10. Now let's take one more question. 0.54. Now 0.54, now here you can very well see that there are two digits after the decimal point. So here there will be two zeros in the denominator, and two zeros represents a number as 100. Okay. Now the third one is 3.185. Now if you look at this particular number, then there are three digits after the decimal point. So therefore the whole number will be written as in the fraction as 3185 divided by 3 zeros, which represents as 1000. So that's what the few things which you have to remember. So this is what we have as conversion of decimals to a fraction. Now let's look at into the actual questions. So let's look at the division of the two decimal numbers. Let's start with the first possibility, or because we are going to have three variation. The first variation is 1.44 divided by 1.2. So you can see that there is a division between two numbers and both the numbers are decimals. So the very first step is that both the numbers which we have, the numerator and the denominator, as 1.44 and 1.2 respectively, we have to convert both of them into a fraction. So let's convert into the fraction. Now you can see that for the first number, which is a numerator, 1.44, so there are two digits after the decimal point. So when we are converting that into a fraction, there will be two zeros which represents as 100. So it's 144 upon 100 is a fraction representation of 1.4. Similarly, with 1.2, we are going to write that as 12 upon 10, which is a fraction representation of 1.2. Is that clear? Okay. Now, in the second step, what we have to do is that we have to convert this this division sign into multiplication. Now, while converting this into the multiplication sign, the numerator remains the same, which is 144 upon 100, but the denominator will become its reciprocal. So we have to take the reciprocal of the denominator, which is going to be 10 by 12. Okay. So this is what the third step. Now from the second question onwards, we are going to directly obtain this third step. Okay. Now let's do the calculation. So what we can do here is that let's divide and do some multiplication. Zeros will get cancelled here, right? 12 square is 144, so it is going to be 12. 12s are 144. And now what we left, it's 12 by 10, which is going to be, okay, now we have to write the final answer always in the decimal form if we get able to write that. So 12 by 10 will not be the final answer. We have to write in the decimal form. So 12 by 10 is 1.2, and this is the final answer. So therefore 1.44 divided by 1.2 gives us 1.2. Okay, so hope you have understood this. Now let's take one more variation in this particular case. Let's see that. So the second type of possibility is that 0.256 divided by 16. That means you can see that there is no, rather 16, yeah. There is no decimal point in the denominator, but yeah, there is only decimal point or the number in the numerator. That means decimal number divided by non-decimal number. Okay. So how to do this kind of division? So it's again very simple. Whatever we have done in the first question, we have to follow the same rule here. So first we are going to convert 0.256 in the form of fraction. And how do we write that? So there are 3 digits after decimal point. So there will be 3 zeros in the denominator, which is going to be 1000. Okay. And which is divided by 16. Now, as I have told you, we are not going to do this particular step. We are going to directly arrive at this particular step. So now when we are converting this division to multiplication, we have to take the reciprocal of the denominator. And in the denominator, there is only 16. So the reciprocal of 16 is going to be 1 by 16. Yeah, that's it. Okay, so that's what we got. So it's 1 by 16 we got out there. And now let's do some division. Now 16 square is 256. So therefore it is 16 times 16. And what we left is 16 divided by 1000. Okay, now we cannot keep this as it is. We have to convert this into decimals. So we'll write that as 0. Okay, now there is 16 in the numerator and 1000 in the denominator. So we have to write 3 digits after the decimal point. So therefore it is going to be point, decimal point, 3 digits, so it will be 016, and here it is 0. So that's the answer. Okay, now let's take one more, the third variation. So in the third variation, the decimal point, let's say that there is no decimal point or there is no decimal number in the numerator. Let's say for example, if we have 169, which is divided by 0.30. Okay, so now how to do this kind of division? It's again very simple. We will keep 169 as it is, right? And now since we are converting this division already into multiplication, so we are always going to write multiplication. Now 0.13 into fraction is going to be 13 by 100, right? But we are going to take the reciprocal of denominator. So the reciprocal of 13 by 100 is going to be 100 upon 30. So that's what we have. Okay. Now we have to divide it. So let's divide these two numbers out there. I think we have 13 square 169. So it's 13 times 13. So it's 13 into 100, and the final answer is equal to 1300. So that's what we have. Hope you have understood the decimal division. If you have any doubts, just let me know in the comments below. So that's it from my side. Thank you.